the late John Britten, recently held in his honour at the Ruapuna Raceway, the John Britten Memorial Superbike event.
John Britten, like so many New Zealanders who've made their mark on the international stage, overcame incredible odds, including reading difficulties, undercapitalisation, and as always, a lack of time to achieve his dream. He gathered a great team around him, and after his death almost 10 years ago, that team and the riders who followed Britten's dream have nothing but fond memories of this Canterbury genius. Hello folks, and welcome along to Ruapuna Park Raceway. No, we're not here for cars today, we're here for motorbikes. In fact, we're here for a very special meeting. It's the John Britten Memorial Superbike meeting. And the man beside me is the brains and all the work behind it. Peter Red Fenton, this has been a Herculean task. You're riding the bike as well. I mean, why did you take something like this on?
I think it all comes down to passion, Phil. Yeah, I had an idea in 2002, and it's grown from that. And it's taken a lot of hard work, but I've got a good team behind me, just like John had. And this is the end result. And I mean, look at the weather. The way the weather's been lately, this is really, really good.
Well, as you said, we got fantastic weather. We're looking forward to some fantastic racing. And in the World Superbike format, explain that to us.
Well, the World Superbike, what I'm doing is there's two main races for the Superbikes. They're 23 laps each. Generally, in New Zealand here, for a Superbike race, we only run maybe 12 laps. Well, with the amount of money I'm putting up, I thought I'd make the guys work for it. So they've got to do 23 laps each. And what happens is we let the guys out early, say 15 minutes before the race starts. They'll form up on the grid. We'll put the tyre wheels on. They'll have their stands on. Umbrella girls, of course, that sort of thing. And it just helps create a bit more of an atmosphere in that, builds it up. Then they get a warning, like a 2-minute warning, clear the track, and they go out and do their warm-up lap. As they come around, they get back on the grid again, and bang, it's on.
Well, there we are, something pretty special here at Ruapuna. World Superbikes have been to New Zealand before, but it was in the early 90s. We haven't got World Superbikes here, but we've got the next best thing. It's the John Britten Memorial Superbike meeting here at Ruapuna Park Raceway. Well, Paul Pipler, this is what the big crowd has come to see, and there is some of the contenders. 41, John Lowther from Timaru. There is 66, Chris Haldane. On pole, remember, it is this man, Andrew Stroud, these days living in Hamilton, a world-class racer, and a man that I think there'll be a lot of money changing hands if he doesn't win this race.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to see the race cams on these bikes as well.
There is one of those cameras. This is from the view of Brian Bernard, and he's got a terrible start. Jared Love's pipped him on the line. Love on the 600, just up ahead of him. Bike number M, that's Jason McEwen. John Lowther on the Colin Klein Motorcycles Yamaha goes ahead as well. So Brian Bernard, well, he's sleeping on the line.
He's been caught napping, but he's going to do some demon brakes. Let's see what happens. He's right up behind Jason McEwen now.
So you're on board with Brian Bernard as they come into the PPG hairpin. Down the outside, the last of the late breakers is Brian Bernard. Picks up John Hepburn as well into the braking. Oh, and there's just about a touch there, I think, Paul. Bernard has to go a little bit wide. All that good work is undone in one fell swoop.
Yeah, these first few laps are really scary when you're getting yourself sorted, and if you've got a bad start, you've got to do some muscling.
So through into the Motorcycle Trader magazine turn they come now. Don't look for John Hepburn on the Aprilia. He's riding a 1000cc Suzuki production Superbikes, and he's back in about 4th place for the moment. The race leader, though, is Andrew Stroud. Through the Christchurch City Council dipper they go. Stroud in the front. Unexpected to be there quite this early. Have a look at them as they work their way down to the start. This is the start from Brendan Marshall's machine, the RRR Superbike Team Suzuki, and he is another one that doesn't get the very best of the starts. Now, does he make it up in the first turn as he works his way into the Copthorne Commodore Hotel corner? Just in front of him, it is Brian Bernard, so you can see for yourself the start that he got. Ahead of them, it is number M, and that is Jason McEwen. Here's the view looking in from the back of Andrew Stroud's machine. They say that Andrew Stroud is world-class and the best racer in New Zealand.
Well, I can vouch for that. Early in the days when I was racing, Andrew Stroud, Simon Crafer, Aaron Slight, those young boys, they were they were identical in speed, in my opinion. And Andrew Stroud, well, he stayed at home and did national racing when the other boys went overseas and made millions.
Of course, I guess you'd have to say made his name on the Britten motorcycle, and that's what it's all about this weekend. This is the John Britten Memorial Superbike meeting. You're riding with Andrew Stroud, and have a look how close Clee gets under braking. Look at this, the big blue Suzuki just closes up the gap.
Wow, look at the tyre too, the Pirelli shod tyre on that rim. It's got heaps of grooves on the rim where they've used tyre levers to ply it on and off. Beautiful coverage.
Chris Haldane sits in third place, just got a glimpse of Jason McEwen in fourth, and he's been the quiet man this weekend, Paul. He hasn't done too much. He's let his work on the track speak for itself. He's kept himself to himself. Very quiet, totally different from the Jason McEwen of a couple of seasons ago. Yeah, well, hopefully he's 100% fit, because he took a bit of a whack at Pyro. He went into the curb quite hard, so hopefully he's feeling better. So we've already seen a leader change in the early going of this, the first race, the first heat, if you like, of two for the superbikes here at the John Britten Memorial. At the end of the day, $15,000 for the winner of the overall series. At the moment, Ray Clee sits in the box seat, Stroud in second on the brother Suzuki. McEwen moves up the inside of Haldane to go into third. Then it's the Ducati of Haldane, and then it's Brian Bernard. Well, he's made up for that bad start, because he's slowly but surely getting onto this lead bunch at the top of the field. Well, these guys in front, the four of them, are going to bunch up. They're going to hold each other up a little bit, and that's going to allow Brian Bernard to focus. And there's nothing more will get you motivated than seeing a bunch of riders 10, 15 yards ahead of you. You know you can catch them. Here is the onboard from Brian Bernard's machine. Just up ahead of him, it is Jason McEwen. This is a battle. Further down through the field, fourth and fifth, I think it is at the moment. Oh, and down goes Jason McEwen. Oh, just the low side, but just maybe got on the gas a little bit too soon. The back stepped out and over he went. So Jason McEwen's not going to be a factor in this one as well. They're dropping like flies, Paul. Yeah, it's a very technical track, and you try riding a 155 horsepower motorbike around here in second and third gear down around the tight twisty bits. It's very difficult. Number two, Brian Bernard, now into his 40s. Manager of Team Bernard Racing, mechanic, mentor, you name it, he does it. He owns the team, he runs the team, and he races for the team as well, and he's their best result so far in this first heat of the John Britten Memorial Superbike race, scheduled to go over 23 laps. Now race leader is number 36, Ray Clee. Now we're going to see some sparks. Look at the gap, they're really close now. Well, Stroud may be using the lap traffic to his advantage, and as you said, Paul Pavletić, the gap is absolutely closing down. If I was Ray Clee, I'd be worried. Well, you know, we talked that they're sort of they're pitting out of the same place, they're sort of with the same team. I'm sure Ray will be getting pit signals from his wife or his team mechanic about what's happening behind him, but Andrew Stroud will be getting the same signals. Well, it's soul destroying, coming down that front straight, looking across at your pit board and lap after lap, seeing that gap closing, and you're trying as hard as you can, and it's really tough on your mind. Out of the PPG hairpin they come down, heading towards the Motorcycle Trader and News right-hander, and then into the Spectrum Print turn, heading down towards the dipper now, and you see he got a little bit of an advantage there as he went around Michael Smith. Now, Michael Smith already a lap down, but I think he's something still inside the top 10, maybe 7th or 8th position. So these guys are pouring on the pace. I think Ray Clee run a little bit wide then. That's going to cost him. That's right, it's a battle of inches, isn't it? It's a battle of tenths of seconds. Round the big sweeper they come once again. And just have a look how close they cut that apex. Clee in the front, down under the fairing. Right in behind him, his good friend Andrew Stroud. Now the gap visually closes. Stroud on a charge. It looks to me, Paul, that he's a little bit quicker through the first turn and down through pothole, through the SB Logistics corners. Yeah, those tight twisty bits, they take a lot of good technique. And I said earlier, Andrew Stroud's done a lot of laps around here. He knows the place well. Ray Cleese from Auckland, from Kumu, probably hasn't done a 10th the amount of laps around here. So both on GSXR Suzuki 1000s, production superbikes as we call them here in New Zealand, and once again very limited modifications allowed. Look at Andrew Stroud. He's got his chin pressed so hard on that petrol tank. Now he's focused. He's really on a mission now. So once again, the lap traffic is going to play a part. How many times have we seen that in racing right throughout the seasons? Here is Stroud. He's used the lap traffic to his advantage, although maybe there he just got balked a little. Into the PPG hairpin they come now, and Andrew Stroud set to pounce. Ray Clee will just about be able to feel the hot breath on his shoulder. We're on board with Andrew Stroud. Is this the pass? He looks over. They're down through the infield, heading down past the Wahoo Billboards turn. Just got one right-hander to go. That's the Motorcycle Trader and News team, and we do see the pass. Andrew Stroud goes races into the front. Well, the laps are running down here. He's passed at the perfect time. Now can Ray Clee come back?
I'm sure he's going to try. He's not going to throw the towel, and that's for sure. Ray Clee's a fighter.
Into the Christchurch City Council dipper they come. Slightly different lines. Clee's not going to give it up. Here is Andrew Stroud, though, down into the sweeper. You can hear the crowd cheering. They love this. The Canterbury's favourite son down onto the Blue Bridge Straight for the last time. Is it? Will we see the checkered flag? Andrew Stroud has accomplished race number 1. The checkered comes out. He's done the deed. He's got to do it again, though. Stroud takes the win. Ray Clee is second. Brian Bernard third. Jared Love the first of the 600s. How was the handling on the bike toward the end? It's starting to get a bit squirrely.
Yeah, it was. It's quite slippery actually. I think the track temperature was warm. I nearly crashed going into the dipper. Now the front tyre slid right out, and the bike was kind of fallen over onto my knee, and I pushed it back up again, and just managed to stay on.
It was Ray Clee that got away and led it for 20 laps, but on that 21st lap Andrew Stroud came knocking and went past. So Andrew Stroud sits on pole position once again. History-making occasion here at Ruapuna Park Raceway. This is the first of the John Britten Memorial Superbike meetings, and this is the second time we get to see the pomp and pageantry of World Superbike grids behind us. Just 2 minutes now to go. The riders will mount their machines, and something else to consider is the fact that it has started to rain. 23 laps. If the rain gets worse, it could be a problem. At the moment, talking to some of the riders, they don't seem to be too worried about it. The tyre warmers are coming off. The riders are getting in preparation. Very shortly we'll be underway with race 2 of the John Britten Memorial Superbike race. Andrew Stroud on pole. He's the one that's got it all to do. There is Andrew Stroud on your screen at the moment, and he has got it all to do, Paul Pavletics, but I would suggest to you that he's probably got the coolest head amongst all these riders. He's been there and done that. It won't be bothering him too much.
No, that's right, Phil. He's experienced. He's done a million laps around here. He's so full of passion and enthusiasm to do well for the John Britten Memorial. John was a friend of his, a sponsor. You know, it's going to take a lion to pull him off that trophy. So we're underway. 23 laps to decide the overall position in the John Britten Memorial Superbike race. This is leg number 2. Who gets the very best of the starts? I think Jared Love has got a flyer. We're on board here with Andrew Stroud, and he's got a terrible start, Paul Pavletics. Yeah, he has. He won't be happy. And Ray Clee, if he's on his game, and he has been all weekend, it's going to be a huge threat. He's going to have to get up on the pace quickly.
So just up ahead of Andrew Stroud, you got a glimpse there of Jason McEwen out in the front. It is, though, bike number 69, but for how much longer? Down the inside comes Ray Clee, gets the door shut in his face, so it looks like Love will lead it out of the PPG hairpin and down into the infield for the first time. No, he doesn't. Brian Bernard says, I got a terrible start in race number 1. I'm going to make up for it here in race number 2. So it's the veteran out in the front in leg 2 of the Superbike heats here at Ruapuna.
Well, Clee will be cursing because he needed to get a good start. Andrew Stroud didn't get the greatest of starts, and he couldn't capitalise on it. Now look, Andrew Stroud's going to have a shot up the inside and turn the tables.
Well, that's right. You never count the guy out. We're on board here looking at the back of Andrew Stroud's bike. That's the Pirelli tyre you see in the foreground of the shot. Behind him, it's Jason McEwen. Behind him, I think you've got a glimpse there. There he is, bike number 66, and that is Chris Haldane. And behind him, I think it was 52, and that was John Hepburn. So Andrew Stroud down the Blue Bridge Straight they come, hitting speeds over 250 kilometres an hour, down through the gearbox into the first turn, the Copthorne Commodore Hotel corner. And look at the way Jason McEwen makes up the ground as they work their way through this left-hander.
Well, look, I want to keep an eye on Chris Haldane. The Ducati doesn't have the punch down the straight, but the cornering speed is phenomenal. Keep an eye on the red bike in the back of the picture.
Well, Andrew Stroud picks up another spot there because Jared Love goes behind him now. So from a bad start, and it was a bad start, back in about 7th or 8th position, and now Stroud is up into 4th.
These things are a real handful too, Phil. Like I said before, they've got 155 horsepower. It's a lot of second and third gear corners, and you whip the throttle up and they just leave a big black line as they spin the tyres up, and you've got to hang on for grim death. They will flick you over the bars quicker than you can blink.
Here's a replay of the start, and this is from Brian Bernard's bike. And look at the start he's got this time round, and that is Jared Love. He's always been known as a fast starter, and he dives down onto the pole line, down through the inside through the Copthorne Commodore Hotel turn. We're on board with Brian Bernard. He's currently sitting in 2nd place at the moment. You'll get a glimpse shortly. There he is. Jared Love just shuts the door as they come into the PPG hairpin. Bernard in the front, Clee in second. Then it's Andrew Stroud. Andrew Stroud, of course, won the first race, but he waited until the last couple of laps before he made his move. Are we going to see something like that again, Paul?
Well, quite possibly. Andrew said he just couldn't ride any faster, which amazes me because right now he's the most talented rider in New Zealand, and Clee just pushed him to the utmost of his ability.
Well, he's pushed Brian Bernard there because he's dipped down the inside of him through the PPG hairpin and gone into the front. This is Brendan Marshall's view of the proceedings. Just up ahead of him, it is number 66, and that's Chris Haldane. Ahead of him, 52, John Hepburn. They work their way into the Motorcycle Trader turn now, and then heading to Spectrum Print. This is the fast right-hander. Seen a couple come to grief there. That's our curb cam shot as they work their way into the Christchurch City Council dipper. Clee in the front from Kumu. Then it's Wanganui's Brian Bernard. And then, well, Hamilton these days, it is Andrew Stroud. He's lived in more towns than most people have hot dinners. Started off as an Aucklander. Spent a lot of time down in Canterbury, and now he's in the Waikato.
Well, he spends a lot of time spreading the good word. He's a very strong Christian.
There's no doubt about it, and it helps him, and I guess whatever works, works. The brother Suzuki of Andrew Stroud starting to put the hurt on Bernard, down into the braking area for turn one, and Stroud nips up the inside, and there's nothing Bernard can do about it.
Well, Ray Clee will take a peep over his shoulder and he'll be going, oh no, I didn't want to see that.
Well, probably not this early in the race because, as we said, in leg number one of this event, it was Stroud that won it, but it took him virtually the whole race to make the move. And now, well, we're probably about 1/3 distance, and already he is closing up onto Ray Clee, the race leader. But I would say, Paul, it's too early to discount Brian Bernard yet.
Oh, Brian Bernard won't give up. He'll be putting the pressure on as well. He won't be making any mistakes, just pushing, pressuring these guys.
Working their way through the Wahoo billboards turn they come. 36 Clee in the front, Stroud in second, Bernard in third. This is the view, though, from Brian Bernard's bike. Not a distant third, still in there with a chance. That's Stroud in front of him, the race leader just ahead of him, and that is Ray Clee.
And that white stuff you see on the track is cement dust that's put there to cover oil that's been dropped from motorcycles crashing down the road. So it's there to soak it up.
Well, we've certainly seen a few motorcycles crashing down the road this weekend, and probably because the guys under pressure a little bit. They want the slice of the money. Heaps of money on offer. The richest prize money motorcycle event in New Zealand. This is the John Britten Memorial Superbike Weekend, put on by Triple R Racing, Peter Fenton and his team. You're on board with Brian Bernard. This is the final stanza of the afternoon. This is leg number 2 of the Superbike competition.
It's Jason McEwen, I think, in 4th place. Andrew Stroud's really picking the pace up now. Look, he's closed the gap right up. I think we're going to see some fireworks shortly.
Well, it's his favourite place to do it, through the PPG hairpin. And you did right, Paul. The gap is closing visually now. Heading down towards the Wahoo billboards turn they come once again. This is Andrew's, well, this is his fastest part of the track. I guess it's his favourite part of the track. The very spot you're watching now is where he made the pass to win leg number 1. He hasn't done it this lap, but, well, don't discount him. Clee in the front. Don't discount Ray Clee either. He's been there and done that as well. He knows what it takes. He knows that Andrew Stroud's coming. All he's got to think now is, how can I hold him off?
The danger that Andrew Stroud's got is Ray Clee's very quick onto the front straight, and that's where the start-finish line is. He always pulls the gap. You watch him every lap, pulls about 3 or 4 bike lengths. He's really quick through there.
So there are, folks, something to watch for there as Ray Clee puts number 44 a lap down. I think that's Mike Smith from Auckland on another Yamaha.
And there's the gap. He's pulled it again.
So you heard it first. Paul Pavlenich picks it. Ray Clee gets away as they come off the More FM sweeper. Stroud gets it back though, and so too does Brian Bernard, and Smith just looking over and just getting out of the way as they work their way up towards the SB Logistics left-hander and down through Pothole as they come down into the braking area for the hairpin now. And are we seeing the charge here from Andrew Stroud? He's a whole lot closer this time, Paul Pavlenich. Is he going to try and square it off and go down the inside? Doesn't work for him.
Well, Brian Bernard's going to have to get a bit of a wiggle on. It's starting to become panic time. They're pulling away.
Well, you know, the laps are wearing down too. Clee in the front, Stroud getting a little bit closer now. This is his favourite part of the track. Into the Motorcycle Trader magazine turn they come now. Andrew Stroud gets a little bit closer, but the wheelie maybe cost him a 10. Into the Spectrum Print turn and heading towards the dipper. And Brian Bernard, he's right back in this, Paul Pavlenich.
It's a real jigsaw, isn't it? It's incredible. The seesaw.
Well, they keep swapping. They don't change position, but they just change position on the track, if you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, they're fast on different parts of the track. They've all got strengths and weaknesses, and it's apparent. Like onto the front straight, Ray Clee's very quick. Through the dipper in the infield, Andrew Stroud, great.
And once again, we saw it again. Cleve very fast onto the Blue Bridge straight, and Stroud makes it up under brakes, I would suggest to you, through turn 1. Andrew Stroud, the brother Suzuki, sits in second place, but in the box seat overall, if he can pass Ray Clee, he will be $15,000 better off, and that is an incentive that is too good to ignore. Into the PPG hairpin they come once again. He gets oh so close. The knee scrapes the ground. Oh, we've got another rider down, and I've got a feeling that that's Warren Hudson on the Honda, bike number 8. He's not going to play a part in this. I think that's in the dipper, so he's going to be well out of the way by the time the leaders come through. And here they come now, and Andrew Stroud has suddenly decided it is time to get serious.
Yeah, he is. He's getting up real high and wide and trying to get the fast lines, getting the power on early.
Have a look at the different lines as they come into the dipper. Clee down on the apex. One position out is Andrew Stroud, then hugs the curb and then drives out of the turn, trying to keep up with Ray Clee as they come into the sweeper. You heard Paul Pavlidis say this is the part of the track that Clee has the advantage. Is it going to be that way again? It looks like it. Oh, the big head shake. How hard are these guys trying?
He's just about broke the throttle cable, twisting it on as quickly as he could.
Oh, look at Andrew Stroud now. Has a quick look on the outside, then decides to dive to the inside. Clee will know he's coming though. He'll do his best to shut the door, make that Suzuki just as wide as possible as they work into the SP Logistics turn. Oh, and they get very close once again. Through the pothole they come. Clee and Stroud. Stroud on the outside, bike number 1. The brother Suzuki. He's going to go the long way round the hairpin. No, he thinks better of it. Tries to cut the apex and squares the turn off. What's going to happen here, Paul Pavlidis?
Well,
Clee in the front. Look at Andrew Stroud.
Barges his way through. Clee right up until now has been holding a really, really tight line, but he left that one open. Then Andrew Stroud just pushed his way through.
Well, it was virtually the same place in race number 1, so Andrew Stroud into the front now, but Ray Clee is not going to give this up without a fight, I'm sure of that. Into the fast left-hander that is the Spectrum Print turn they come. It's the brother Suzuki, the national champion in production superbikes in New Zealand, the points leader in this round of championship racing that is in the front, but here comes Ray Clee, tries to dive down the inside, and, well, Stroud, he saw it coming, he shut the door.
Clee's a fighter, he's not going to give up.
These two battling it out for the prestige and the big dollars here at the John Britten Memorial Superbike Weekend. Andrew Stroud in the front, Ray Clee in second place. The race to the flag, and there is Kirstine Britten that flies the flag to Andrew Stroud. He wins it 2 for 2. He goes home $15,000 better off. Ray Clee is second and Brian Bernard is third. Well, Andrew, congratulations. You did it again.
Yeah, thank you. It's another hard one. I was kind of maxed out the whole way, and just again there, that was the last chance. I had to pass them on the track really, and managed to just get set up for it again.
So Andrew Stroud is the big winner here at the John Britten Memorial Superbike Weekend at Ruapuna Park Raceway, but so too is the public. What a fantastic occasion. The Triple R Racing team doing a brilliant job in this inaugural John Britten Memorial Weekend. Let's hope it continues for many, many years.